Lots of great stories, great content that impacts you here to be a part of 6 a.m. on your Wednesday. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Neda Iranpour. Yeah, thank you for choosing CBS 8 to start your day. And let's check in and see what the weather will be like. Evan, of course, you've been monitoring this hurricane out there.
Yeah.
So pretty far, right?
Very far
now.
from us right now, right around the Cabo, San Lucas area. But still expected to send some remnants our way. We're trying not to create any hysteria related to this because this storm is going to break down almost completely. I mean, bare bones by the time it arrives in our area by about tomorrow and Friday. However, we will still get those very weak, very residual showers in Southern California. What we see outside for the day today is a dry day. You've got 72 degrees along the coastline under partly cloudy skies, 79 inland. Temperatures out the door right now are mostly in the 60s because we have a fair amount of cloud cover out there. So a little bit warmer overnight than we were yesterday. But coming up, we'll be talking about what we have in terms of Priscilla, currently a Category 1 hurricane. And like I mentioned, off the coast of about Cabo at this point, north of Puerto Vallarta and just following parallel to the coastline. More details on its path and what those storms will look like for us in San Diego coming up. Vanessa has a check of how things are looking as far as traffic goes to start off the morning, though.
Right, on your hump day, it looks pretty light out there. Not much activity to report. This is the 8 in both directions right at College. Again, things are dry, but that could change the closer we get to the end of the week. So take advantage of the dry conditions as we get out the door this morning. This is the 5 in both directions right at 6th Avenue. Pretty clear and smooth as you make your way through the curves into downtown San Diego. Our major trouble spot right now is the Coronado Bridge. Full span will take you about 7 minutes, typically about a 3-minute drive, so we're seeing about a 4-minute uptick. Meanwhile, on the South Bay, out of the 5 and the 805, no major issues nor delays. Neda.
Thank you, Vanessa. The government shutdown now entered its 2nd week, with little sign from Washington that it could be resolved anytime soon.
The president has also said that some federal workers don't deserve back pay. CBS 8's Chris Grow joining us from downtown with reaction to all of that. And there's a local organization doing something today to help families impacted by this.
Yeah, a lot to get to here when it comes to the government shutdown, both on the federal level and the local level. Let's start there with what is developing here at the national level. President Trump and the White House, a memo being circulated, which is signaling that back pay may not be something that is available for all federal workers that are currently on furlough, depending on who has been working without pay and who has been sent home. In fact, this memo, CBS News has been reporting, has been circulating right now in what is seemingly has been the raising of stakes, if you will, to try to get Democrats to come to the table here to agree to the terms the Republicans are setting. Now, of course, as we know, Democrats holding out for changes and an extension to ACA subsidies to try to make sure that premiums don't go up for Americans. But what is very different here about this memo is that a 2019 law was signed by President Trump himself, which promised back pay to all federal workers after a shutdown. The president seemingly going against this. Now, as we know, both sides have been going back and forth. Let's play for you the latest that we have heard from President Trump, as well as one Democrat on Capitol Hill.
People that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way. I follow the law, and what the law says is correct.
This administration has spared no effort, none, to be intimidating, to incite fear if there are these mass firings, or if pay is denied, because people have rights. They will sue for damages.
Now, as for what is happening locally, a lot of those who are impacted here by the government shutdown, whether it be because of benefits that you're no longer receiving or you work and or your family member works and you do not, whatever the case is that you may be in need, Jewish Family Services stepping up to the plate here, having a drive-through nutrition assistance here. This is something that will be going on from 4 to 6 p.m. starting today at the Joan and Irwin Jacobs campus, which is, of course, in Kearny Mesa. So that is something that is going to be available. Pre-registration is not something that needs to be done. Eric and Neda?
Okay, Chris, thank you for that. This morning, airport operations in San Diego are normal as air traffic controllers around the country call out sick during this government shutdown. In a statement, San Diego International says essential federal aviation personnel are anticipated to remain on duty. They also say they do not expect disruptions to parking, concessions, customer service, or public safety. In 1 hour, former FBI Director James Comey set to be arraigned. He faces charges of making false statements to Congress and obstructing a congressional proceeding. The Justice Department says Comey lied to lawmakers about an FBI media leak. Critics say the charges are revenge from the Trump White House for Comey's investigation of Russian collusion in the 2016 election. In a 2019 report from special counsel Robert Mueller, found no such collusion occurred.
This morning, the spread of a wildfire in rural North San Diego County has been stopped. The so-called Sandia fire started around 3:30 yesterday. Burned about 24 acres near Donnell Ranch Road in Deluz. That is north of Fallbrook and close to the Riverside County line. Evacuation warnings have been lifted. CAL FIRE says federal firefighting resources are limited due to the government shutdown, though state crews remain fully staffed.
Okay, glad they got a handle of that one. We're desperate for rain. I don't know if a hurricane is what people were
yeah, right?
hoping for.
Not exactly what I think people would go for, but it will still nonetheless bring us some outer bands of precipitation. What we see right now is that this is a decaying hurricane. It was a Category 2, now down to a Category 1. That, of course, is good news. As it trudges north, it's encountering some cooler ocean water, and it's running parallel to the Baja Peninsula. What we'll watch for just south of Ensenada is a sharp turn to the right. All these spaghetti plots, as we call them, show that that's its current trajectory. And as we get toward that time frame, so Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we'll likely run into some scattered showers. We are still very far off from where this storm is and where it will be, which means that everything that's expected in San Diego is going to be a minor threat. Satellite radar right now showing dry skies. We've got partly cloudy conditions expected by the afternoon, but for the start of the morning, an abundance of clouds. Our rain chances peak starting on Thursday, will climb on Thursday, peak on Friday, and then start to drop down by Saturday. So it does seem like at least over our local mountains, Friday will be the most abundant day for scattered showers and thunderstorms, but a lot of that activity does start up on Thursday. In the meantime, this afternoon, we're enjoying fall-like conditions and temperatures. 75 in National City this afternoon, 77 in La Mesa, 81 for Santee and El Cajon. San Ysidro looking at a high of 75, RB 77, along with San Marcos, 83 in Ramona. Mountains and deserts are in the 80s for the most part, still warm. 90s are what we're expecting for Borrego Springs and Ocotillo Wells today. Want to send things over to Vanessa Paz, checking in on how things are looking to start off our Wednesday morning road conditions.
All right, it looks like we are gaining some momentum out there. We have traffic slowly starting to pick up. This is what it looks like on the 8 in both directions right at College. Coming at your screen is the westbound drive, so this is facing east towards the mountains. Still really dark and early out there, but you could see that traffic fairly light this morning. At 6:08, we're tracking a 3-car crash. This is on the 94 West, right where it meets the 805 connector. Not causing any slowing, but this crash was reported about 5 or so minutes ago. And then we're tracking another, this one on the 163 South right at Friars, and that could cause some slowing as you make your way towards Mission Valley, hopping on the 8 freeway. All right, let's go ahead and zoom on out and see what's happening in from the South Bay. We are seeing improvement. Earlier it was stop and go, congested heavily on the Coronado Bridge, and it looks like we have transitioned into the green, which means that the speeds are faster. And from Oceanside as well as Escondido, we're at full freeway speeds there, anywhere between 65, 70 miles per hour. So same deal coming in from Santee as well as the La Mesa Grossmont area. Here is what those travel times look like, about 10 to 15 to get you northbound in from San Ysidro, as well as in from the 54 up to the 8. Full span of the Coronado Bridge, about 5 minutes at last check. Here's what it looks like for those drives headed westbound in from the East County, anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes on the 94, the 8, as well as the 52. And last but not least, here's what it looks like coming in from the North County. We're still all in the green, average speeds anywhere between 66 to 70. All right, 6:10 is the time on your Wednesday. Let's go ahead and see what's happening in terms of our border wait times. Over 2 hours right now coming in from San Ysidro, in from Otay Mesa's port of entry will take you about an hour and a half.